And welcome back, folks. This is Colonel Freeze here, bringing you the second game of a set between these two competitors. And we'll just get right down to naming them. In the bottom left-hand corner, the Red Terran 8-Bit, also known as Roark Arnett, and will be referred to as Roark Arnett for the rest of this game. And in the top right-hand corner, the Purple Zerg Dunning-Kruger, also known as Emsigma, who I'll be referring to as Emsigma for the rest of this match. And the same Emsigma who took the first game of this set, in a rather convincing fashion with a very well-timed Baneling bust against a mostly mech-heavy army from Roark Arnett. So once again, as we've seen in this competition time and time again, we have one player here whose back is essentially against the wall facing elimination, and that's going to be Roark Arnett. So he's going to need to really be a little bit better on his early pressure and be much, much better on his macro game. We saw in the last game he did not expand until very, very late, when he had already lost almost his entire army to that Baneling bust, and it was just too little too late. But we are seeing an early refinery again for Roark Arnett, so probably going to see more mech Hellion, possibly Banshee based style of play from him. Meanwhile, back in the Zergland, I think we're going to see another 15 expand for Emsigma, and okay, or maybe that drone's just gonna go hang out randomly. There it is. As the scout from Roark Arnett rolls up through the minerals, checking for that pool. He sees that there is no early pool, but he does have a little issue here. He's getting aggressed by a drone who is alternatively attacking and then stealing the gas. So a little bit of drone harass here for Emsigma versus Roark Arnett. Oh boy. Let's see if he can pick off another SCV as he did in the last game. I think he might be able to. Yeah, just a little bit too late. And he'll go back and try and, steal that gas again. So, hatch on the way for Emsigma as well as an extractor. And just very, very standard build, although the extractor is a little bit early. The timing of the pool and the hatchery is what's standard. And that drone is just being horrifically annoying. Oh, is he going to get that SCV? No, he ends up getting KO'd by a Marine. And another reactor coming out, and I gotta see, yep, we're going to see a factory, so we're probably going to see Hellions again from Roark. Although he does probably want to get that second refinery at some point, now that the drone is not harassing him to death. And we're just seeing continued drone production from Emsigma. So he's getting queens, he's getting Zergling speed. So probably going to see more Zergling Baneling play from Emsigma, as it has worked for him in the past. So that reactor's going to finish, and the telltale sign will be if it lifts up and swaps with the factory, and I gotta believe that that is what we will be seeing, as he does get that second refinery almost completed. And we're lifting up, and we're lifting up, and there we go. So there's the transfer, and we should see Hellions popping out momentarily. As he does get the tech lab with the barracks, so we may see a starport going down as well. Or perhaps some Hellion Marauder play. That would actually not be too shabby. And there's the Baneling nest much earlier this game than last, so we will see Banelings from Emsigma shortly. And I think he's contemplating an early Zergling Baneling bust up the ramp of Roark, not allowing him to try and get to the macro game. Yep, there are the Hellions being pushed out, and there are the Marauders being pushed out, and we do have Stim on the way, so we are going to see Marauder Hellion based play, at least as an opening from Roark Arnett. And a lot of Zerglings streaming out of production now for Emsigma, as well as additional Queen. Not too much group spread, but here we go. Yep, those Hellions are gonna fry those Zerglings. They gotta be careful though. They need to kite and not get surrounded. Like that. And one Hellion will go down. The second one is gonna get chased all around the map. Yep, and there's a surround as well, so 2 Hellions down. Just a little bit of micro mistakes from Roark. But he has 4 more Hellions, he has Marauders, he's getting stem. It's about halfway completed. And there's the Baneling conversion right there. So we may see an attempted Baneling bust up this ramp momentarily. And that's not going to go too well from for Emsigma actually. So we will see. The Banelings are ready, more Zerglings streaming in, and an Evolution Chamber just completing for Emsigma. Stim not yet quite ready for Roark. But here we go, the Banelings are going to move up the ramp, they're going to take fire from those Hellions, they're going to get roasted. And the reactor does go down. Banelings take out 2 of the Hellions and do get a bust in on the Marauders, but the Marauders are too bulky for that. And that early aggression has been almost entirely defeated. More Zerglings trying to stream in, but the Hellions are going to mop those up. And let's see what Roark does to respond to this apparent victory and fending off the push. Excellent. He's going to respond correctly. He's going to respond correctly, and he's going to expand based off of that early victory. So a much better gameplay decision for Roark this time out, as 2 Spine Crawlers are going to be dropped from Sigma, as he's now wary of that early aggression. You know, these Zerglings won't do too well versus Baneling, or I'm sorry, they won't do too well versus Marauder. Hellion play. Jesus, I can't remember Hellion. The little scoot cars with the flames coming out of them. Those guys. And just leaving that tech lab unmanned, he's getting a second reactor on the barracks, so probably going to see a starport go down in a minute. As the command center is almost completed, and he's going to lift off. And oh, wait a minute. He's got a second command center in production as natural, so he is double expanding. Risky business right there. But we will see as Roark starts going up to lair tech. He's continuing to get spine crawl. He's starting to spread that creep. And he's still on 2 bases, so if he's not careful, he's going to be behind in the macro game versus Roark here pretty soon. And I don't think he scouted this at all. So the Terran doing some ballsy work. Double expanding, and I guess he does the minerals to do it. He needs to really make more production structures. You'd like to see at least another factory and 4 to 6 barracks, especially since he has almost 1,000 minerals that are sitting idle. That's not too much of an issue for the Zerg to have idle minerals, because, I mean, that's what Zergs do. They sit on a huge amount of minerals and then they convert it into an army very rapidly with their larvae. But we see another Evo chamber going down and a macro hatch as well. And Zergling's going to stream in, they're going to have a poke at these Hellions, and nicely done. Roark is going to successfully kite the Zerglings and push them back a little bit. Good play from Roark. Much better than the first game. As he's getting more Marauders, he's getting more Marines. Still not so much on the production facility. So that is a bit of an issue. But he's going to choose to make this third a planetary. And that's going to be a very good decision for him in terms of defending that third. But no SCVs and no what do you call it? No mules coming down on that expansion yet, so it's kind of just sitting idle. He does have a lot of missile turrets. Has he scouted something that I have not? I don't think so. Is there a Spire up anywhere? No, there is a Roach Warren. We've yet to see Emsigma make a single Roach, and he is going to expand and get his third. So really both sides just macroing up right now. But again, Roark is going to be hard pressed to spend all of his minerals if he doesn't have the production facilities to do it. And he is getting a second factory with a tech lab this time, so we're going to see some siege tank action. He's already researching it at the other tech lab. I'm sorry, I thought that was a reactor. My bad. But he does have a Thor out. Thor is here. Thor is ready. And still no SCVs mining down here at the planetary. So, word of advice, if you're going to double expand, you probably want to actually get some workers to complement that double expand, as the infestation pit for Emsigma is about 2/3 of the way completed. Macro hatch getting ejected, and Zerglings, mass Zerglings streaming across the map. Let's take a look at the unit count. 64 Zerglings for Emsigma, 4 Hellions, 1 Thor, 5 Marauders, and 14 Marines for Roark, as well as some siege tanks got to be on the way soon, and yes, they are popping out. He is researching Blue Flame for the Hellions, that's what that second tech lab was for. And a Spire going down now for Emsigma. So it looks like we're going to be seeing some sort of, I don't know, maybe Speedling, Baneling, Corruptors, possibly into Broodlords. I don't know, we'll find out here in a second, but it's interesting to note that Emsigma is also well and away ahead in upgrades. Right now, Roark is just working on Vehicle Weapons 1. Or Zerg is about to get armor, he's about to get melee attack, and a whole host of other things. And we see some bunkers going down for defense as these Zerglings kind of hang out just outside the perimeter. And still no SCVs for this planetary, so it's been sitting idle for almost 5 minutes, something like that. But I do like the bunker placement, although Banelings are going to do a great deal of damage to those bunkers without any Hellion support. And let's see, for production facilities, still 1 barracks and 2 factories, no starport. Roark is doing a lot of things right in this game, but the lack of available production is not one of them. So a 4th going down for Emsigma, and here's the problem with not putting any early pressure on your opponent. If that opponent is a Zerg, he's just going to continue to expand, he's going to get up a ridiculous economy, and he is going to be very hard to take down, because even if he throws entire armies at you and loses them, those armies are going to be replenished. And I totally missed an engagement. We have Zerglings streaming in on the planetary, but they're going to get mopped up by the Marines and the Hellions and the Thors, and almost no damage done with that attack. So Roark is going to have to, well, he's just going to get more Zerglings. 46 Zerglings in production. Possibly another Baneling bust on his mind. But we will see. As it stands right now, he's not going to defeat that army with solely Zerglings. And finally, a 3rd factory going down. Getting upgrades, which is good. I really want to see that starport, though. We have to have Vikings here at some point, especially as... Yep, and it seems that Emsigma has read my mind. He has a Greater Spire on the way, as well as 16 Infestors. And 2 starports now on the way for Roark, so... doing a little bit better in the macro this time out. But not in the economy. Let's take a look at the tab. 68 Harvesters for Emsigma, and he's taking in about 1,800 minerals versus 1,200 for Roark and 55 Harvesters. So again, that's the issue with letting a Zerg expand across the map. And I'm not sure he's even scouted these expands. Nope, he has not even poked up at that wall or scanned in a very long time. He has no idea what's going on with that Zerg, so that is a big problem. As the Infestors move across the map, they're going to join with their Zergling brethren soon. And yet another expand for Emsigma, so this is quickly going to get out of control in terms of Zerg production. 2 reactors on the way, and we should see that double Viking production soon. Plus 2 weps and plus 1 armor just completed for the vehicles. More siege tanks, a few more Marines on the way. But no aggression whatsoever being seen, and that is the big problem for the Terran, as the Terran is usually strongest in about the 15 to 20 minute mark. You know, that usual mid-game bio-bowl push of Marauders, Marines, and medevac timing is very strong. That's usually when you see Terrans winning the game. But with a mech-based build like this, I'm not even sure what the transition is to late game, as I'm handicapped once again by not ever watching TVZ. But we do see Corruptors out. 9 Corruptors are on the field for Emsigma, and I have to think he's got Broodlords on his mind, especially with all that production and all that gas. And yep, there we do see the conversion. We have 7 Broodlords on the way, as well as an additional 4 Corruptors. However, Vikings are now coming out for Emsigma, so things not looking too grim. But I don't know. With the Zerg having what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases and a macro hatch, his production is just gonna be out of control, as well as his mineral intake. And the SCVs, well, there are some holes in that. What I thought was a wall, but here we go, Zerglings streaming in, and I think he's just throwing these Zerglings away to clear supply. Although they do manage to do a decent bit of damage against 1 siege tank. But yeah, 9 more Corruptors on the way after he cleared those Zerglings, so not really much of anything from Emsigma, just a feint. But these Infestors and these Broodlords and Corruptors are going to move up, siege tank doing a little bit of damage. And we're seeing a little bit of panic production of Vikings. And the Marines are going to go out by themselves with the Hellions, and they're going to stab. They're not going to do much. These Broodlords are tearing them apart. Yeah, that was a little bit of a bad idea by Roark. He lost almost all of his Marine background. Or backbone. But here come the Vikings. They're going to do an exceptional amount of damage to these Broodlords. The Corruptor's going to come in and try and defend them. And it's going to be a battle down to who has more anti-air at this point. Not really focusing fire on either sides. And the Vikings look like they're going to be on the short end of the stick here. But more Vikings coming out from those double starboards. But decidedly behind now in supply is Roark, and we're seeing the absence of production, so it is really hurting him. All he's making right now is Vikings. And he's making 4 at a time, whereas Emsigma is able to make 13 Corruptors to respond. And nothing else. No Marine production, nothing coming out of these factories. And that's a little bit of an issue. Okay, we are seeing some missile turrets go down, but missile turrets aren't going to do a whole lot versus Broodlords. It's only if the Corruptor is straight within missile range that they're going to be an issue. And he does get the scan down. He does see the Infestors, the additional Corruptors streaming in. A second Spire on the way from Emsigma. Trying to get those upgrades that make Broodlords so heinous to deal with. And a mass siege tank rollout, completely unsupported with no anti-air. I have no idea what's going on. He's going to siege. He's going to try and do a little bit of a damage to these Infestors. He takes out 1. But as soon as the Broodlords move over, he's going to have a problem. Come on, unsiege. No, he's going to lose siege tanks. He's going to lose a lot of them here. But here come the Vikings. Perhaps he's trying to bait him out. That Corruptor blob. Let's take a look. 23 Corruptors, and they're going to do an intense amount of damage versus the Vikings. And that entire Viking armada is going to go down. And meanwhile, the siege tanks almost entirely wiped out as well by 1 remaining lone Broodlord. So things are not going well at all for Roark. He's rapidly losing control of this situation. He's down to 109 supply versus 165 for Emsigma, and he's going to make a whole shit ton more Broodlords. 8 more being converted. Let's take a look at the units kill tab. That is not the units kill tab. You know, that seems to be heavily in Roark's favor, but in terms of the economy, he is decidedly outmatched. Oh, well, at this point, he's not actually. There's more drones coming out for Emsigma. But Emsigma is double expanded to all parts of the map. He's got creep spread across the map, and these Broodlords are coming in, taking out the missile turrets. The Vikings are going to do a little bit of damage. But medevacs, why are we seeing medevacs? We don't have any Marines for those medevacs to heal. I don't get it. So maybe a misclick? I don't know. The Vikings are almost entirely destroyed. These siege tanks are going to attempt to run away, but the Broodlords are going to do work here in this situation. Marauder's going down, and almost an entire army wipeout for Roark. And I have to believe that this is going to be it for Emsigma. That Planetary's going to do a little bit of damage on the defense, but 4 Venevacs? What the? And there's the GG. So, much better play from Roark in this game, but the late game was an issue, as well as unit production. And Emsigma is going to advance to the finals of the Pandemic Legion StarCraft 2 tournament, where he will face either myself or Tycoon again. A game that should be played shortly, and I will have for you guys shortly thereafter that. So, this is Colonel Freeze signing off.